Okay, what have you got for us this evening?
You're not going to like it. It's the same thing everybody keeps asking you over and over again, and I honestly still don't get it. I keep getting the email from iCloud, and I have no idea, honestly, how I should set each of my devices. You say don't pay. At this point, I'm ready to, I can't afford it, but I'd rather pay them $40 and not have the stress. And I don't know how to set things. I
Okay.
don't know what it is iCloud, and I know you've explained it 100 times,
Okay.
and I've listened.
All right. Well, I'll do my best to try to explain it again. Is iCloud and really backup? So you're asking me really what is iCloud and more specifically what is iCloud backup? Uh, is,
Really, what I'm asking is, what should I have all my gizmos and whatever set
okay.
up? I went back, and they still haven't taken away my 25
Yeah.
gigs, whatever, and I have it down to almost nothing now. But it's just giving me stress, and I don't
And Apple loves that. They are more than happy to have you turn that button on because you feel stressed. And that's fine. If that makes you feel better, pay them money. Let's explain what iCloud does first, and then what iCloud backup is. All right, because this is a really good question, and really you can't ask about it enough times because it is complicated. So if I go to my settings here on my device, let me get back into settings, and then we're going to look at iCloud. And then I go to my settings on my computer, and hopefully this computer that I'm using today is acting well enough. These two settings areas, here I am in system preferences and I go to iCloud. These two settings area, both where I'm signed into my computer and where I'm signed into my iPhone, are very similar. If you look at across the top, so down the lines of each one of these, they're almost the exact same settings. So what iCloud is,
okay. I'm trying to follow along. I have everything set here. So I need to hit iCloud on
yes,
my
if you
iPhone.
go into your settings and then you have iCloud, that gives you the long list of different settings that you can take a look at. And on all your devices, these are basically the same thing. Now, the first thing that oftentimes I walk into to clients' homes and they're signed in as different accounts. I know that's not what you're doing, but the first thing that I always check is, am I signed in the same account on my phone as I am on my computer? And it's easy. Across the phone, it says, in my case, sales@mac.com. And then I go into iCloud in the account details, and it says sales@mac.com there as well. So I know that I'm signed into the exact same account in both. So now, at the lowest level, what iCloud does is it syncs your contacts and your calendars. That's the number one thing that it does. When you add a contact in your computer address,
Go slow. So I can write this down.
so if
Contacts.
I add a contact
Got it.
into my address book on the computer, it shows up on my phone automatically. If I alter a contact, let's say Daryl moves to Michigan and I go in and I put his address in my phone as different, it comes back and it's supposed to sync up to my computer. And what's really happening is, in my case where I have a phone and a computer, there are really three places: on my phone, on my computer, and then in the cloud. And what the cloud means is a building next to an interstate somewhere that Apple has bought that's got lots and lots of computers in it, and that all those computers and storage hard drives have a little bit of your information, a little bit of mine, a little bit of Daryl's. So my address book is actually there. And when I turn a phone on or when I buy a new phone and I sign into iCloud, all those addresses come from that building back onto my device. Whether or not I back up my device has nothing to do with my contacts and calendars, because whether I choose to actually use iCloud as a backup, it doesn't matter. My calendars and my contacts are really being backed up whether I choose to or not. So calendars are the same thing. Now we group mail and notes in the same bucket. Mail and notes, you can see that I have these checked, mail and I have mail checked. A lot of people that turn on iCloud cannot turn on those check marks of mail and notes because they're using an Apple ID that is not given to them by Apple. Sales at iCloud.com, sales at Mac.com, sales at me.com. If you're using one of those, Scotty at Mac, Scotty at iCloud, or Scotty at me, then you can turn on the mail and you can turn on notes, because all notes are...
I have notes turned off because I don't use. Okay.
That's fine.
Is that okay? I
Yeah,
have
that's
notes
totally fine.
turned off because I don't use. Turned on right. Is that okay?
Right.
Okay.
So mail
Everything else
and
turned on
notes,
right now.
again, we don't have to turn on iCloud backup for that stuff to be backed up as it is. If I buy a brand new device and I turn on mail, all my mail comes back down if it was from iCloud.com, me.com, or at mac.com. If you're using your Gmail account to sign into an iCloud account, then you cannot turn on this mail because Apple is not in charge of Gmail. So, and you may have noticed if you've ever turned that on, it says, oh, you must want to create an Apple ID with us, a free email address. So most people just leave that off if they're using Gmail. Now, the easier ones to understand, Safari bookmarks. Apple will happily sync all of your Safari bookmarks. If you open up Safari here and you open up Safari on your other device, those bookmarks will be the same. That's nice. Google's Chrome has their own method of doing that. You'd have to sign into Google Chrome, usually using a Gmail account. Yeah, and other people too. And I remember other people might go back and listen to this, so I throw that in as well. So Google Chrome has their own method of syncing bookmarks between Chrome and Chrome. If you wanted to get into the nitty-gritty of it and sync your Safari bookmarks with your Chrome bookmarks, then that's another discussion. PhotoStream, and we've talked about PhotoStream lots and lots of times here in Town Hall, where if you take a picture on a device, Apple will then put that picture on other devices for you. And so it's a conduit. I use the word conduit to allow pictures to move, so we no longer have to connect our phones with a cable just to move the pictures over. Documents and data. Documents means if I'm using Pages, Keynote, or Numbers, then I can check that, and I open up Pages on my computer and I type, then I close Pages. I go to my iPad and open up Pages, and that same document is there. That documents and data setting has nothing to do with Microsoft Office. It has nothing to do with Google Docs. It has nothing to do with Microsoft Word. It's really only Pages, Keynote, Numbers. That's really what they should say there. They should type in Pages, Keynote, Numbers, but they don't. Back to my Mac, if you're in Philadelphia and you have a computer like a laptop and you want to get back to your computer at home to look at it, and I'd use this all the time, then if you have that checked, then you should be able to go back and look at your home screen. And lastly, Find My Mac. If somebody steals your computer, they get it to their house and they turn it on and they go online, if they're that stupid, then you can go to iCloud.com and see where your computer is. Give me a second to close my doors so my dog isn't interrupting us anymore here. Now, that's what iCloud does. It's a syncing tool between your Mac. It's a reservoir to keep your calendars and your contacts, and it moves your pictures around for you. But then we get to this setting. On the phone, if I scroll down to the bottom here, storage and backup, and I go over here, and I see this, and you have the same situation here that long time ago you created an @mac.com email address back in the old days prior to 2007, and you continued to pay for MobileMe service for every year, and Apple finally... Yeah, it was. And Apple finally realized, well, we better give this to people for free because that's what Google is doing, because Google was setting themselves up with Android phones. So Apple not only killed MobileMe and rebranded it as iCloud, they made it free. But for you and me and other people that had @mac.com, @me.com back in the old days, as part of the agreement for killing it, I'm sure the lawyers sat down at some table, they said, look, let's throw these people a bone. Let's give them 25 gigs of free storage space so that we don't have to refund all this money. And I'm sure in the terms of service somewhere we agreed to something like that a long time ago. Yep. So they gave us 25 gigs of storage space, but that storage space is dedicated to what's on your phone or what's on your iPad. That storage space really doesn't have much to do with your iMac. It's really just what's on your phone. So if you go over here to iCloud Backup and you turn that on, then what you're asking Apple to do is take your iOS device and back it up in its almost entirety up to the cloud. Now the advantage of that is that if you drop your phone in a lake, and I use that analogy all the time because that's what I did, you drop your phone in the lake, and you've got to get a new phone, you walk into the AT&T store, you pay them whatever money you have to pay them to get the new phone. Then, when you turn the phone on, it says, would you like to restore it from an iCloud backup? If you turn that on, and you've paid that money, and your device's information from the day before you dropped it in the lake is less than the storage amount that Apple gave to you, then all your stuff comes back down. Okay, now, you turn that on, your calendars come back, wonderful. Your contacts come back, fantastic. Your email comes back, that's awesome. Your photo stream pictures, that's wonderful, that's great. Okay, let's look at the person that didn't turn on iCloud backup. They go to the AT&T store. Now, they've not paid for iCloud. They don't have 25 gigs. They don't even have this turned on, like me. I drop my phone in the lake. I go to AT&T, and I buy a new phone. Pay whatever I have to pay. I go in to my phone settings, and when it first turns on, it says, would you like to restore from an iCloud backup? No, I don't, because I didn't have iCloud backup turned on. So I go into iCloud, and I sign into my iCloud account right here, and I turn everything back on. My contacts come back. My calendars come back. All the photos that were in PhotoStream come back.
Okay, how did you get back into iCloud?
I sign in through the settings right there in this. There's iCloud
Okay,
right there.
How did you
I
get
click
back
that.
into iCloud? I'm not seeing your iPhone.
Oh, you don't see my iPhone?
No.
Oh, maybe I haven't been showing my screen.
I'm not seeing your iPhone.
Okay, tell me when you can see my screen.
No. Now I see it.
Okay, so you see how my calendar, my settings here in system preferences are exactly the same as my settings on my phone? Okay, so if...
You have everything turned on right now.
Yes, I do, except for coming down here to storage and backup, I do not have iCloud backup turned on.
Turned on right now. Okay, so that's the first thing I need to do is turn that off.
Well, that's the root of your question.
So that's
you said
the first thing
you opened the conversation today with Scotty. I'm nervous that I'm not backing up my phone, just like you are not backing up your phone, Scotty. And you're right, I'm not backing my phone up. So why am I not backing my phone up? I don't want to. I'm only going to have, in a couple of days or a month or so, they're going to pull that 25 gigs of storage down to 5 gigs of storage for everybody, unless you want to pay them more money. Now, I'm not going to do that because regardless of whether I'm using this iCloud storage that they've given me or not, doesn't matter. I'm still going to get my contacts back. I'm still going to get my calendars back. I'm still going to get my reminders. I'm still going to get my bookmarks. I'm still going to get my photo stream. Here's what I'm not going to get if I don't turn on storage and backup.
Yeah, that's what I need to know.
Here is exactly what you are not going to get. All right? Now look at my iPhone when you're ready. I'm going to go back to the home screen.
Yeah, that's what I need.
Okay. You see how I've got Spotify on the front page there, and I've got the photos in the bottom left-hand corner there, and I've got a folder here of apps that have to do with money. You see, you following me? You see I've got a folder for weather apps. In other words, I have customized my home screen, just like everybody does. And on the second page, I've got a group of apps, right? And then on the third page, I have another group of apps. All right? Now, I've got an app for the America's Cup, and it happens to be on the third page because I don't really care about it being on the front page. It's not important enough to live on my front page. If I do not, now before you jump to conclusions, listen all the way through. If I do not turn on iCloud backup, then when I am sitting in the AT&T store and I try to recover my data, my contacts are going to come back, my calendars are going to come back, my photos are going to come back, my music's going to be, all that's going to come back to me, except for the arrangement of my icons. So if you want to pay Apple $40 for the arrangement of your icons, then knock yourself out. And I'm not sounding angry and mean towards you by any means. This is just this is one of my frustrations with Apple is because they scare people. You're not backing up your phone. Well, I am backing up my phone. I'm backing up my phone through iTunes. If I pull my iTunes over here, here's my iTunes, And if I go look at this, there's my phone over there in the left hand. No. Look at this checkbox down here. Sync this iPhone over Wi-Fi. Now, if that checkbox were checked, then when I come into the house, my phone is going to sync to my computer through iTunes. Done. So the only advantage that you have for turning that on is if you want your phone to look exactly like it did before you dropped it in the lake while you are sitting in the AT&T store. Otherwise, leave the phone in the box, go home, plug it up into iTunes, and save yourself $40. Now, even if you don't use that iCloud backup and you lose your phone, you still get all of your apps back. Even if you didn't have iCloud, even if you didn't have backup turned on in iTunes, even if you didn't have the backup turned on right down here, then you still get all that stuff back, because all you really have to do is go into the App Store. Let's say you have a brand new phone. I give you a brand new phone. Then you go into Purchased, right there it is at the top, and it's going to give you an inventory list of all the things that you've either purchased or downloaded in the past of your entire life. So, and I say this every time, every Monday, and probably 4 or 5 times a day, you no longer are buying a file. You are buying permission to download the file for the rest of your life. So if I delete Chateauetry, which is a cool little app of William Shatner making poetry, if I delete that, I can always go back and re-download it. So for instance, here's the Walmart app. I downloaded it a long time ago, and it's off my phone, but I can re-download it. And here's Cheerleader Makeover. If I really wanted to get that app again, and let's say it costs $5, I don't know, maybe it costs $5 and it's not on my phone, then I can re-download it because it's just an inventory list. So you really don't have to go into your settings and go into iCloud and go down to the bottom and turn on storage and backup, because if you do that, right now you are way under your 25 gigs of storage space, and your whole phone would back up. That's great, fantastic. But when they pull down that 25 gigs and they give you only 5 gigs, your whole phone is not going to fit there. But you've got everything in iTunes already. You have everything over here already.
Okay, what about documents? I like being able to, send them via iCloud from one computer to the other, recipes so that I can see them on my smaller computer in the kitchen.
That's totally fine. Has nothing to do with this conversation. If you use Pages and you open up Pages on one device and you open up Pages on another device, as long as you have that button checked, documents and data,
I like being able to
on, in other words, it's turned on, then it has nothing to do with backing up your iOS device. That's going to live at Apple's server regardless. So to give you an example here, I'm going to go and open up Pages now, and I'm going to see if I can find Pages. I'm opening up Pages on my computer, and I'm going to go hopefully open up Pages on my iPhone. And remember, I don't have iCloud backup turned off. So the documents that are sitting here on my iPhone, see them all coming in? That are on my phone? In a moment when my Pages opens up finally, I'll see if I can find it. And remember, I'm using kind of a slow old computer here. Let me close some of this. Okay, here it is. Okay, Pages is asking me to open up a document. And this is an important step. I've opened up Pages, and Pages says, okay, what document do you want to open? One that is local on your Mac, or one that is in iCloud? Now watch what happens when I click this. When I click on this iCloud, here is the same list of documents that are on my phone. Look at that jumping, that little designing jumping one there. See, it's over here in my computer as well. So I don't have iCloud backup turned on, but my documents are syncing. Now, let's say I take this phone and I drop it in a lake, and I go sign into iCloud. All of those documents that are on the iPhone are going to land on my iPhone again, or that are in iCloud are going to land on the iPhone again. Is that a pretty good... I've gone about 20 minutes on this picture here. Daryl, I'm going to get to you in just a second. I appreciate your patience. That's about as much as I can say about iCloud, I think. What?
Okay, so the first thing I need to do is turn off iCloud, backup, whatever,
Yeah, and
I'm just looking at it now, not even seeing it.
and honestly, ignore the scary warnings that
Where's it
Apple's.
back up?
It's in the settings. You drag down to the bottom.
I took everything off that I possibly could, to get it down below 5 gigs or whatever they get. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is turn
Yeah,
off
that's what I would do.
every device I have.
That's what I would do.
iCloud,
Yes.
Backup, whatever.
Yeah, that's my suggestion. Is don't
just
A,
looking
worry
at
yourself to
now,
get below a
9:16.
5 gig cap. B, don't pay them any extra money. You're going to pay
Storage
Apple
and
plenty of money in
backup.
the next 365 days. They don't need another $40 of
Back.
yours. When you
I
can just
took everything off
plug it
that
up to your
I possibly
your
could, to get
iTunes,
it down
and even if
below
you don't
5
plug it
gigs
up,
or whatever
even
it
if
is.
you don't
Okay,
sync
so
it
I needed
ever,
to get iCloud backup
you're not
off
losing anything.
on every device I have.
Yeah, I hate plugging it up.
Yes.
Today, I realized that my new iPhone didn't have all of my classical music, whatever you call it, tones,
Yeah,
when the phone rings.
yeah.
And it took me about an hour to figure out how to get it to just sync all my classical music, what do you call them? Tones.
Playlist. Yeah,
When the phone rings, you get text
yeah.
messages.
There's ringtone.
It took me a half hour to figure out how to do that because I didn't want to sync everything. Because it puts me
Yeah, I hate
on
plugging it up. Today, I
Yeah.
realized that my new iPhone.
Well, Daryl, let's
didn't
jump over
have
to you.
all
What do
of
you got?
my
Thank you for
classical
being so
music,
patient.
First of all,
whatever you call
Scotty,
it,
Gail Kane's beat
tones.
Florida on
Yeah, when the
Saturday.
phone rings.
Okay.
And it took me about an hour to figure out how to
Good
get it to just
feedback
sync
going. What's going
all
on?
my
I don't know. Let me turn
classical
this down a
music.
little bit.
What do you call them?
Try again. There's a delay in our audio for some reason
When
tonight.
the phone
Nothing's perfect. I
rings,
don't know why.
it takes
So,
messages.
Daryl, what's your
It
question?
took me a half hour to figure out how to do that because I didn't want to sync everything
My-
because
My
it
finder's
puts
hanging
everything
up
back on that I don't
Hold on.
need.
All right.
And the second question about, I want to make a book. First of all, Scotty, Gail Kane's beating Florida on Saturday. Is there another book program?
You want to make a photo book, like a coffee table book. Is that right?
Got a good feedback going. What's
Okay.
going on? Yes.
The simplest way to do it, the least resistance way to do it, is to use iPhoto. It's not the cheapest way to do it. The photo books in iPhoto tend to be a little on the expensive side. I think it's
My
$30
finder's
for 10
hanging up
pages,
sometimes, for
and most
one.
people go over a 10-page book, and that's where they start to get you. So
And the
I would
second
suggest
question
in
about, I
iPhoto,
want to make
you
a
first
book
make a folder in the left-hand column of
somebody,
iPhoto,
and I
drag
wondered
all
whether
your
you
pictures
wanted,
in that
you
are
would like
considering using
iBook
for
or
the
is there
book.
another book?
In other
program?
words, you'll say you have 20,000 pictures. Make a folder that's got your favorite 50 pictures of this event, this
Yes.
book event that you want to do. After you have that folder, down at the bottom of iPhoto, you're going to say make a new book, and then you can it's very simple. It lists all the pictures at the top, and you just start dragging the pictures into the arrangement that you want on the book. You can choose whether you want it to be 4 pictures on a page, 2 pictures, 1 picture. Really, the big thing is what type of book, the different templates. There are full picture books. There are books that have a lot more text. There are books that are designed for maybe more of a travel kind of story. So you pick your template and you spend 10 minutes or so going and looking at all your different templates, and then you find the template you want. And you say go. You could also even autofill it if you wanted to, where it says, "Hey, we'll just make one for you. We'll take all these pictures and throw them in any order." After you've done that, then you go to order the book. Usually ships to you in about 10 days or so. The books are beautiful, but they are more expensive than it's something that you would do at something like Snapfish.
What if I wanted to order one book?
Yeah, you can order 10.
Are they $30 a piece?
Yes, I believe so, yes.
Ouch. Okay. What was the other one you mentioned?
I have a lot of clients that use Snapfish for this. There are a lot of companies out there that'll do this. Snapfish is one. All right. And as far as your Finder giving some problems, I'm going to push you through where to find that P list to potentially toss that out and rebuild the P list. And then there's one more thing I'm going to show you, and that's how to rebuild the parameter RAM, which you might already know how to do. Let me first put this in.
What if I wanted more than one book? Are they $30 a piece?
Yeah, we can do that. Actually,
Okay. What was the other one you
yeah,
mentioned?
we'll do that. Let me jump over to your screen. Okay. And you should see a request.
Okay.
Okay. All right. You got a lot of documents on your desktop. That's not a healthy thing. Uh, but we'll forgo that, and we're going to get into. So open up a Finder window. Just double click anywhere on a Finder window. That's fine.
You
Now,
want me to go
I'd
on
like
my
you
screen?
to go to your hidden library folder, and the way that you'll do that is under the word Go in the top menu bar. Hold down the Option key and select Go. And when you hold the Option key, you see the word library shows up. Try it again. There it is. Now there's the library. That's hidden. Select that. Now that's your library. Now we're going to go to the Preferences folder, which is down about 3/4 of the way in that last column there. Yep. And now you're going to expand that window a little bit so you can see more of the window. Yep. And we're going to go to com.apple.finder.plist. So drag that down. com.apple.finder. Okay. Now you see that we got about 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. In a moment, and I don't want you to do this right now, but in a moment you'll select all 3 of those and drag them to the trash. After you do that, log out and log back in your user. Now I don't want you to do it right now because that would break our communication with each other. Do you remember how to do this? You want me to walk you through it again?
No, that's fine. Select all 3.
And then you'll move them to the trash. But don't do that right now. Wait until you are completely ready to log out of your user and log back in. Because what has to happen is that file that we're throwing away needs to be rewritten. So you only want to do it when you're ready to log out and then log back in for that file to be rebuilt. That's step 1. All right? Okay. Step 2 of this is you'll turn your computer off, and you might want to write this down. You're going to turn your computer off, and when you restart the computer, you're going to hold down a series of keys.
No, that's fine. Select all 3.
Here, well, you can't see my screen right now, but Command Option PR. When you do that, I'm going to jump back over to my screen.
Command Option PR.
Right, and you're doing that as you're starting the computer up. 4 keys, that's right. And I usually do it with one hand. Pinky on the P, index on the R, and thumb holding down the Command and Option. That way I can reach around and turn the computer on with my left hand. So, kind of like that. Exactly. All right?
All right.
So when you do that...
I don't even know what a P file is, so.
Can I call you if I get hung up?
Sure.
Well, PR stands for parameter RAM, and what that when you turn the computer
Command
off,
Option
and you hold those
PR.
keys down, and you turn the computer back on. This is what
4
you're going to listen
keys.
for. You're going to hold it down, turn the computer on. The computer is going to chime, and you keep holding it down. Then the computer is going to chime again. Keep holding it down. Then the computer is going to chime again. Then you can let it go. After you've heard it chime 3 times, let it go.
Okay.
It's 3 o'clock.
All right.
Yeah. Yes.
You got that, Joan?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't even know what a P file is, so
Can I
You
call
mean
you if I
what,
get hung
this set
up?
of directions?
sure.
Oh no, this works. This is it. This is zapping the parameter RAM. Look, I'll show you. If you forget how to do this, it's called zapping the parameter RAM or resetting the parameter RAM. I'm going to do a search for. Check this out. Reset parameter RAM on the internet here, and here it is right here. So Let's see. I'm
It's
sure it's in
3
here on
o'clock.
how to do it, but, right there
Scotty?
it is.
Scotty,
Command Option
if
PR.
I were to tell this
I'm not
story
making this up.
to my wife, she'd
All right, and
accuse
look
me
down
of
here.
playing a
Look at
game on
number
her.
5. Hold the keys down until the computer restarts, and you hear the
Yeah.
startup chime for a second time. My instructions were for a third time. I like to go 3. It said a second time.
Uh,
Okay. All right, now, do I have to log out first, or can I just shut it down?
Yeah, you can just well, when you toss those plist files out, these are 2 separate events, really. You want to toss the plist files out.
Right. So I'm going to toss them out, then I want to log out.
Yeah, and then log back in.
Right.
Then shut your computer down and restart it with Command Option PR.
Oh, you want me to log back in?
Yeah, these are 2 completely different.
Rebuilds the file.
Yeah, these are 2 completely different processes.
Okay. Okay. And then shut it down and do the PRAM startup.
That's right.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I got you.
Yeah, we've got a big time audio delay here tonight, so I'm sorry for the pause, but that'll do
Okay.
it. And
All right,
what
now,
that does.
do I have to log
is
out
having
first, or
parameter
can I
RAM,
just
it actually
shut it
sets-
down? I had trouble getting in too.
Oh, did you? Okay. Well, I don't know. But that'll do it.
Right.
That
I'm
will
gonna toss
rebuild
them
the
out,
desktop
then I wanna
file,
log out.
and hopefully make things a little bit
Right.
healthier on your Mac. All right.
All right.
All right. I'm going to close down here if nobody's got anything else.
Oh,
See,
you want me to log back in?
nothing else? All
So
right.
it rebuilds
All
the
right.
file.
Well, thanks, guys, and I will be around next. Oh, no.
Okay.
Next week
Okay.
I will
And
not
then-
be.
and then shut it
here.
down
I'm going
and
on
do the
vacation
PRAM
next week. I'm going
startup.
to take all week off. I'm going out to San Francisco to watch the America's Cup.
Okay. All right. I got you.
That sounds great.
Yeah, with all the sickness I've had and my dog, I'm just going to go on vacation. My first vacation in a very, very, very long time. So,
If I Google. Now, I had trouble getting in too. Or photo books or something. I'll get a whole bunch of them.
yeah, you could Google something like "make photo book Mac," and Snapfish, iPhoto. I'm sure Kodak has one. Yeah. All right, so there will be no town hall next Monday, and I'll try to put that up on the
All right.
website. But I'll publish this and have that up because I
Okay.
did talk a lot about iCloud, and that's a lot of hopefully good information earlier today as well. All right, we'll see you guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Scotty.
Bye.
Good night, Daryl. Good night, Scotty.
The organizer has ended the session, and this call will be disconnected.